Hello and welcome to Everyone's a Hypocrite, they just don't know it. I'm a Jaded Gamer and today I will be discussing the problem with survival games. Let's start out by defining what a survival game is. A survival game, broken down to its simplest form, is a management of resources to ensure the survival of the protagonist or the focal point of the game. For example, making sure you produce enough food so your settlement doesn't starve during winter. And immediately we have run into a problem. We've just described every computer game that has a health bar, stamina gauge, hunger meter, etc. Or you could even go so far as to argue if the computer game has a fail state, then it is a survival game. And by that logic, Dark Souls is a survival game due to its resource-based health, stamina, magic meters. By that logic, any RTS game is a survival game. After all, you are managing resources in order to survive long enough to defeat your opponent. So for the sake of argument, if resource management in all its forms doesn't make a survival game, then what does? Is it the genre? What about a city builder? Is it a survival game because your citizens survive winter because you farmed enough potatoes, chopped enough firewood, built enough dwellings? What about a third-person action role-playing game? Does stopping your character's health from equaling 0 constitute surviving? What about arcade 2D 3D fighting games? Am I not surviving my opponent's assault in order to claim victory? Sounds like I'm doing all I can to overcome my enemy and survive. Let's take a moment and look at some games that are generally considered to be survival games, for reasons clear and some not so much. Conan Exiles. This game consists of finding food to not starve, drinking water to not dehydrate, killing your opponents so you're not in turn killed. But it's also a third-person action role-playing game, and a crafting game, and sometimes a first-person shooter, and a small-scale settlement builder. The only real threat to your survival is pissball combat, and the player getting bored after picking their 1 millionth shrub for fibers. Life is Feudal, Forest Village. This game consists of a medium-scale city builder, environmental management, food security, and protecting yourself from several disasters that strike at random. And that's about it. It knows what it is, and it quickly falls into a consistent gameplay loop. It only ends when you make it, or you kill everybody by poor management. Banished. Much like Forest Village, this game revolves around seasonal survival and food management. The only real difference being it is more on the simple side and officially complete, only expanded upon by modding. But it sticks to its guns. It's not a jack of all trade, which in today's gaming market is quickly becoming a rarity. However, all in all, it's just another deathmatch. Frostpunk. So, here we have a city builder set in a post-apocalyptic world that isn't ripping off Mad Max. About time. In this game, it is a day-to-day struggle to, keyword, survive, be it through gathering, hunting, ensuring no one sleeps out in the cold, and keeping the heater running non-stop while the temperature drops consistently. It is one of the few on this list that has an end game. Don't starve. This game is a special beast, starving being the least of your problems. The game world is what makes it unique, mostly because it's trying to kill you. When you're not warding off the night with a weak fire, you're being pursued by wolves, while being drenched by an out-of-nowhere storm that has started to rain demonic frogs upon you. And then winter happens. While all that is going on, you are exploring the world you're woke in to find a way out, which puts this game in the odd position of being labelled a survival game and having an endgame objective, and seamlessly including an endless mode, and having a hidden challenge that hides the true ending behind it. Okay, so we've taken about 1,000 steps and gotten nowhere. What makes a survival game? Well, as far as I can tell, nothing. It's entirely in the mind of the user. I don't consider city builders with food or temperature requirements survival gaming. It's certainly not third-person action games with a resource bar management. It sure as hell isn't anything in between. The only factor that I can think of that differentiates games into the survival category is the understanding of how to balance the deathmatch against the endgame. If you have no goal to aim for, you get bored, like you do in Conan Exiles or Banished. If you only have an endgame, like you do with Frostpunk's scenarios, you'll quickly fall into a min-max MMO style method for getting there as efficiently as possible, which kills any replayability faster than I get annoyed playing XCOM's impossible difficulty setting. So, in conclusion, the only games that come close to being survival games are the ones that allow the player to pick their ending while offering many methods for getting there, like how Don't Starve does so effortlessly. Every other game discussed only meets what I think makes a survival game in part. Of course, there's plenty of games that claim survival gameplay, such as Ark Survival Evolved, Left 4 Dead, DayZ, No Man's Sky, yes, really, Warhammer Vermintide, Minecraft, Far Cry Primal of all things, fucking PUBG. Yes, Steam does label that game where you shoot other people a survival game. To sum things up, the genre simply doesn't exist. It's little more than a sales tag to sell people on something only they can see in their mind's eye. It's as accurate as calling a game Souls-like, a term so vague it could literally be applied to any third-person action game that includes bar management and perceived difficulty. I'm a Jaded Gamer. Thank you for watching. Oh, and zombies don't count. I am so fucking sick of zombies. Everything has fucking zombies in it now. Back in my day, zombies were an actual threat. Now they're just fucking everywhere. Bloody blah nostalgia.